time for me to get my guests on the show. Former Indian cricketer Ashok Malhotra joins me from Kolkata. I am also joined by Indian fans Diya Kakkar and Rahane Gupta. Congratulations to all of you on India's famous win in Melbourne. Mr. Malhotra, to you, India has a knack of making memorable comebacks when it comes to Australia, isn't it? 2001 in Kolkata and now 2020 in Australia.
Absolutely. When Indian backs are against the wall, they normally play their best cricket. That is exactly what has happened in Melbourne. After being rolled out for 36, the way they have staged a comeback, especially with the four new guys and with the Shubman Gill and Siraj making their mark, and with Ravindra Jadeja coming of age as a genuine all-rounder. So all in all, a wonderful performance by Indian team. And I think as of now, if you look at Australian batting, they seem to be very intimidated by the Indian bowlers, be it the fast bowlers, be it the spinners. Scoring 200 runs or batting 100 overs. It is unheard of because they're supposed to be very aggressive cricketers. And I'm very disappointed. And, at least they're getting the taste of their own medicine, which gladdens my heart, and hats off to Indian bowlers.
Right, and this is perhaps one of those weak and vulnerable Australian batting lineups that we've seen in a long time. Coming to you, Rahane the leader or Rahane the player? What are fans celebrating at this moment?
I think the fans are just celebrating Rahane overall, the complete package. The player and the leader both stepped up in this test match. His form hadn't been great with the bat, but he came in and scored 100, and his captaincy was just spot on. He did not miss a beat in either of the two innings. He brought on the right bowlers at the right times, got the wickets, and he always made sure he was one step ahead of the game, which eventually ended up in us winning the game. And I think it's very fitting that he was the one to hit the winning runs.
There are nervous moments when India were down 2 for 19?
Definitely. Even like after that, horrible Adelaide test match, you always remember, like, those scars will always be there. That 36 when you bundle out for 36. But I think that, still we were sure of the fact that Rahane was looking in a good touch. Shubman Gill, on the other hand, was playing wonderful strokes. So we were sure that, 70 was very easy to chase and we could do that. We just needed to show that intent. And yeah, we did that job pretty well. Overall, a great comeback. I have to say that we outplayed them in all the departments, whether it's batting or fielding, and yes, bowling too.
Mr. Malhotra, yes, we did outplay them, but there are still some worries and there are some holes perhaps that needs to be plugged before India gets into the next test match. We don't know the venues. Now, venue where it will be played. Now, 3 times in 4 innings, Pat Cummins has removed Pujara. And today, the way Pujara got out, uncharacteristically, it seemed that, he was missing playing ODI cricket.
Absolutely, Rika. And another cause of worry is the opening partnership. I hope Rohit Sharma comes back and plugs that hole. But Cheteshwar Pujara form is definitely a cause of worry. Australians seem to have found ways to get him out, unlike last series where he was unstoppable. So definitely that is a cause of worry. But Pujara is too good a player to fail for too long. Definitely pressure will be on him. But he's still a rock solid player. He's a player who around whom the entire batting revolves. So I would expect him to come good in the 3rd test match, because a great player doesn't fail for more than 3 innings. So he has failed in almost 4 innings. So it's time for him to come good, and I'm sure he'll find a way to score runs.
Well, another person perhaps Virat Kohli is very confident about is Hanuma Vihari. But, he also doesn't seem to have that much confidence batting in the middle order. Mr. Malhotra, would you say that KL Rahul should come in place of him, and that's the kind of change that India should look at going into the next test?
Absolutely. The 2 weaknesses are opening partnership and Hanuma Vihari. I know he's done well in whichever series he's played, but you can't keep a player like KL Rahul out for too long, especially if you want to strengthen your batting. So he strengthens your batting. He gives you more muscle in your batting lineup when KL comes into the side. So definitely these are 2 places which we can still cover up. And then not to forget, maybe Navdeep Saini for Umesh Yadav, because Umesh probably seemed to be struggling as of now. So in his place, we have Navdeep Saini, a ready-made replacement. because our bench strength, Rika, is very, very strong, and players are just ready to grab the opportunity.
Absolutely. So in this test match, Melbourne test, there were 2 forced changes and 2 unforced changes. 2 debutants were brought into the team. Shubman Gill and Mohammad Siraj, they displayed calm and confidence. Ahan, would you say that IPL makes them the way they are today?
I think IPL has definitely played a role in making sure that these players are not intimidated by playing on the big stage, because earlier I remember a lot of players have spoken about how when they went from a Ranji Trophy to the international level and suddenly people like Dale Steyn were running in at them, it was a bit intimidating. But now, because let's say Shubman Gill, he plays with Cummins in the nets at KKR. So now when he's facing him out in the open, obviously it's a different ball now, it's a red ball. But I don't think anymore that fear factor is there. They back their skills, they back themselves, and they know that if they apply themselves, they can make the runs. And that definitely helped with Shubman Gill and even Mohammad Siraj, I think.
Mr. Malhotra, debuting in Melbourne on Boxing Day is a huge, is a big thing in any youngster's career. But the youngsters didn't seem to be overawed by the occasion. Would you say that this is new India, or would you say that they have this confidence because they have come through the grind?
See, the reason, one reason is the IPL, where you mix and match. You are not overawed by these big names. And second is we should, compliment BCCI for having those India tours, where these guys make these tours. During our time, we used to, from Ranji Trophy straight into international matches. It was like throwing them in the deep end, and then you have to learn to swim. But here, players are ready. There is a kind of a system which creates these players. That's why the kind of bench strength India has now, everybody will be proud of. If in the 90s we were saying Australia can make 2 teams and still win in international cricket, I think India can do the same. And hats off to BCCI and these youngsters who are not scared, who are fearless, and who are ready to grab the big opportunities and make their mark in international cricket.
Right, and the man who really epitomizes fearlessness, who led Indian cricket from the front and established this culture of fearlessness, was Sourav Ganguly, who is currently the president of the Indian Cricket Board. Perhaps he is also going to lead Indian cricket from the front as an administrator for a long, long time to come. Diya, coming to you, looking at these youngsters, would you say that their confidence, their ability, and their support towards the team in playing as one unit is what has resulted in this, what has resulted in this in this win in Melbourne? Because what Jasprit Bumrah said at the end, in fact, in the break, that Umesh Yadav going away was not much of a trouble because they knew that they would have to bowl with 4 bowlers and they were not complaining.
Well, definitely. I mean, with your senior players going away, like with Virat Kohli not there, Ishant Sharma being injured back in India, Umesh Yadav was seen limping, and Mohammad Shami is also not there for the second test match. And then we saw Mohammad Siraj among the bowlers stepping up, picking up 5 wickets overall in this test match. And on the other hand, when one of our openers didn't do well, Virat Kohli was not there in the batting. It was Shubman Gill who led in the 4th innings for us, who scored 35 runs and 45 runs in the 1st inning. So it's very good to see this young and new India emerging, and it's very good to see. And as everyone mentioned, IPL has a really big role to play in this. And yes, big thank to the team management as well, the way they have shown trust in these youngsters. If they wouldn't have shown trust in them, I don't think like they would have got that confidence to perform at that big of a stage. So it's very good to see, actually, to see the youngsters coming up and stepping up and performing well.
Mr. Malhotra, what really was the difference to this Australian bowling attack? India was rolled over for 36 in that innings in Adelaide. It was the same bowling attack in Adelaide, but here they didn't look as menacing.
See, I think in Adelaide, it was one bad day in the office. It was one of those days which comes after a decade or so when everything which beats a bat takes the edge. That is exactly what happened. 10 good balls and 10 wickets go down. So that is what happened. This is uncontrollable. It is sometimes unbelievable, but it does happen in cricket. It's a game of great uncertainties. But the way we have bounced back, after 36, the way we have bounced back, it's very creditable. It is hats off to the management, hats off to Ajinkya Rahane, who has regrouped the side, and who has and not to forget inclusion of Shubman Gill. You know, the management understood they made a mistake by playing Prithvi Shaw in the game one, and Shubman Gill has done justice to his talent. And Siraj, you know, we all know what he has done in domestic cricket and first-class cricket, and he really took his time. And these guys, they take to international cricket, Rika, nowadays like duck to water. You know, it is like that they belong here. Most of them, the moment they come in, their first matches are normally very, very good. All of them have come through the India A levels. And hats off to the, as I've been saying, BCCI, and I would say to a certain extent, Rahul Dravid.
Mr. Malhotra, talking about Ajinkya Rahane, the captain, it's 3-on-3 for him. He's won all the test matches that he's captained in. Would you say that it is his attitude, it is his calmness that is now, you know, got the team back together so early after that defeat in Adelaide?
Absolutely. It seems to me like Buddha. You know, he seems to be very unruffled and very calm and composed. He reminds me a little bit of Mahendra Singh Dhoni also, you know, but maybe he does not have that kind of persona. But all in all, a wonderful captain, and he leads from front. And not to forget that he rallied the team around him. He had a lot of youngsters. He regrouped them, rallied them around, and was not unruffled. Even when he got run out, the way he patted Jadeja on the back, that shows the character. That he does not get upset easily. He takes everything in his stride, and he's ready to, win the game for India.
That was a special gesture indeed, and that really lit up the social media yesterday. He tweeted a picture after the win. Let me ask my director to pull up that picture on your screen. That is there. He said, special team, special win. Yes, it is a special win, a memorable one. And Ravi Shastri says that this will be one of the greatest comebacks in history. Thank you very much all for joining me on the broadcast on this day when India has won the Melbourne Test and squared the series.